Hey guys, Pastor Steve here to chat with you for a minute or two today on this next version of our Crystal Clear newsletter. This is the first one that's coming to you via video, and I've also attached a document that you can use to review for yourself and then pass on to a few other people who work with you. Before we jump into some of the training today, I want to just thank you for the work you're doing around here. We're just nailing it right now at all kinds of levels. And the whole vibe around here is so relaxing and affirming and encouraging. And here's what I know, though. I know that when things feel effortless and relaxed and warm, there's a lot of people working really hard to make it feel that way. And I am just so proud to be part of a team that's just nailing it at all kinds of levels. So, way to go. Now, some training for you today, real quickly. One of the things we talk about here is our core values. And core values is one of those business terms that gets described a lot. And I want to take some time with you to talk to you about, here's how we do it here. We answer the question, how do we behave to figure out what our core values are? And we have three key answers to that question, how we behave. Three, what in the business world would be called core values. And the first one is character trumps everything. I talked to you about that a few weeks ago. Today we're going to talk about deliberate intentionality. And next week we'll talk about people over programs and facilities. Now, what does it mean to be deliberate and intentional? Well, those two words, first of all, deliberate means that we take our time. Has to do with the time that we take to make important decisions. And then being intentional has the idea of just we follow a process to work through important decisions. Now, that's a great definition. Let me give you some characteristics of how it looks in the real world. First of all, it means around here what it means to be deliberately intentional is that we pray, that we actually don't just talk about praying, but we actually seek God on those important decisions that we are making. And not just the big, huge, important dollar decisions, but on every level. Let's take some time and involve God in this conversation, involve God in this process. It also means that we take wisdom-guided risk. And what that means is we don't just take risk that's fueled by our passion and our hearts and our feelings, but we take the time to seek the Lord, to seek wise counsel, to look at the Bible, and use our heads, not just our hearts, when it comes to making important decisions. It means we ask tough questions. We expect tough pushback and tough questions from people on our teams. And sometimes what this does is it protects us from moving ahead at all or from moving ahead too quickly. And it also, here's what happens when you get good, tough questions from people, is oftentimes it opens up new lines of thinking that we might have never thought otherwise. It means we listen to people. It means we're humble. And we listen to not just people closest to us, but listen to a wide variety of feedback from all kinds of people. It also means that we're not impulsive. It means that we take our time, but once we have taken the time to be deliberate and to be intentional, bam, we can do great speed of implementation and move ahead quickly because we've done our homework and we know the answers to the tough questions and we've thought through all the maybe unintended consequences or worst case scenarios and can move ahead quickly when it's time to act. And then on a very pragmatic level, it has to do with how we do budgeting and use the financial resources that God's blessed us with. It means that we can, it means we live on a margin real pragmatically, that we set aside funds for the inevitable challenges and difficult things that sometimes come up. And it also means that we don't just have money set aside for problems and emergencies, but also for really cool opportunities that come up to perhaps secure a building that we have just taken out the lease on next door, or to hire somebody and say, we've got some dollars in the bank in order to help us bridge a shortfall that we might experience as we bring new people onto our team. That is what it means to be deliberate and intentional for us in the real world. Now, here's how this works for us on Being Crystal Clear. It's great that you've listened to this, taken the time to watch this. I want to encourage you strongly as strongly as I possibly can to go out now and take some time and have some conversations with people who work with you and who work for you, whether they're paid staff or volunteer staff. This stuff needs to be pushed down to all levels of our organization. And so we don't want to do that by just having big one-time training events. But this happens as you let this cascade out from you and ripple out from you to your people, and then encourage them to let it ripple out to people on the teams that they work with, and so on and so on. All right. Thanks for listening. We'll see you guys here again next time for version, I think, 7.3 of our Crystal Clear Communication Newsletter. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.